Swag.
Swag like Ohio.
Hello, brothers. Special players, special games. Tuesdays.
Welcome back to Commander Paradise. Today, we're talking about the color green.
We're talking forest, baby. We're talking leaves.
Branches.
Bark.
Sap.
Roots.
Bird's nest. Does that count?
That's a
Okay.
stretch.
We'll take it.
That's a
Acorns.
stretch. But,
Acorns.
Acorns. Okay, I don't know what they're called. What do you call the rings inside the trees?
Just the rings,
God.
right?
Just the
That
rings,
would
yeah.
count. Fuck.
Okay, just the rings. Word association tree.
Okay, I don't have one.
That's okay. We got kind of a few of them. If there's any that we missed,
Let us know in the comments
let us know in the comments.
after you subscribe.
And hit that bell. Don't you forget it. But we're talking about green. This is the second time we've done it because we recorded it once before and it was good, but it got fucked up. So we're doing it
Yeah,
again.
sorry about that. That was my bad. But we're back again.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, we're vibing.
For
we're
you,
here and we're talking about green.
At home, we're back for the first time.
Guess who's back again. Shady under a tree is back. Sorry, I'm done. Yeah, we're talking about green and what it does in Commander. So, I guess per the Mark Rosewater breakdown of what colors are, Mr. Lord Tyler, what is green?
Well, so green is like the color of nature, obviously. And it's the color of life. It's the color of growth. It's the color of strength, like physical strength. And it seeks for perfection through acceptance.
So through the primal order of nature.
Yeah, so it's like accepting your place in the natural order. So it's like, you're a 1/1 squirrel, and you're going to be really good at being a 1/1 squirrel. Or knowing that you're a 7-mana elemental that when it enters the battlefield, you make 1/1 plant tokens. And being really good at being that.
Yeah, whatever you are, you're the best at being that.
And it's like the colors of like big stompy. It's like, I'm gonna make a bunch of mana. I'm gonna play a big dude. So it's kind of like the classic like Timmy color. Like my first like deck that I ever made myself was like, I found out like turn 1 Llanowar Elves into turn 3 big dude was like the shit. So that was my first deck.
Yeah, which is always fun. It's even more fun in a 60 card where you can play 4 Llanowar Elves. And then it only gets better from there.
That shit blew my mind.
But it is
I
fun.
only knew about Llanowar Elves, and then I was like in a bulk bin, and I found Elvish Mystic, and I was like, "There's another one!" I bought like 3. I was so excited.
And it was like, hold on, buddy. You've got a lot more to find out.
There's actually a third. They made 3 of those things.
There's a third. But, yeah, and green is just basically like all the wild animals and the things that live in the woods. So like elves and beasts and snakes and boars and elephants and scoot swarms.
Bugs, insects. There's a lot of green insects.
Yeah. Dinosaurs.
Lots of
a lot of dinosaurs.
Hydras are like a green thing.
Hydras, yeah, are pretty specifically green. Bears, there are just bears.
I think that's mostly everything. So yeah, so lots of natural weird things, animals, critters, and the big thing.
All little bits and bobs that God made, just running around out there in the forest, just enjoying themselves.
And the big thing that green is good at is ramping. So it's like getting mana into play, which is really, really interesting because like mana is important to all of Magic, but the fact that green is just kind of in its own world of being like I can get access to mana way easier and way more efficiently than any other color is really crazy.
Yeah. It's very easy to just pull lands from your deck, either right to your hand or, if not even better, onto the field, which is basically late-stage capitalism money printing.
Basically.
It's like everyone else is like, I've got my reserves of money, and I'm going to use them. And you're like, okay, but what if I use my money to print more money? And then I just have more money than you.
I'm using the money that I inherited from my grandpa to make more money. It's like...
My grandpa invented motor oil, so I'm going to use all these dinosaurs to make more money so I can make more dinosaurs.
Yeah, and so this kind of like green's like thing. Also they have mana dorks as well, which are very, very powerful because they're really cheap. One, they're a creature, so they do all the cool creature things. And they get you ahead on mana. So... they're really good. Like Llanowar Elves.
They give you bodies. Elvish Mystic.
Or Birds of Paradise. Paradise Druid. So there's like one mana ones that add a green or a colorless. Or 2 mana ones that add a mana of any color. There's like a lot of those.
Yeah.
And then there's like ways to just... and that's typically like the flow chart. So you got like your 1 mana stuff that's typically a creature... or it's an enchantment. So you got like Wild Growth and like Utopia Sprawl. So they enchant a land. And get you more mana. Or you have your 2 mana stuff. So you got your Farseeks. Whoa, balloons.
Balloons for 2, okay.
Apple, what the fuck? They keep adding things. How did that happen? For 2 mana, you can get like a basic into play with Rampant Growth. You can get any non-basic that's non-forest, so a mountain, a plains, a swamp, or an island, into play with Farseek, which is really, really good fixing because of all the duels. My favorites are the ones that get just like a forest into play, not even tapped, just into play. So you got Nature's Lore and 3 visits.
Yeah. Which are all really, really good. And then, you hit 3 mana, which at that point is kind of just plopping any land or, like, gate or set-specific land onto the battlefield. 3 mana is kind of the safe area for, like, just generic ramp spells. We had this argument, and I still do I think for 3 mana... Cultivate is one of the best ones because you get a land into your hand and a land onto the battlefield for 3 mana, when most of them just either put a land onto the battlefield or a land into your hand. There's a lot that I was looking at that were 3 mana cards that would just put one into your hand but not even onto the field. Mm-hmm. My vote is maybe not completely just Cultivate, but for the 3 mana slot, I think that's one of the better ones.
I think the best 3 mana one, and I'm biased, is Wood Elves, because it's 3 mana. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a forest card, put that card onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. So it enters untapped. It's any forest, so you can get duels with it, so you can shock it in if you want, so you're netting mana, so you can do this on turn 4, and then do a 3 mana spell and a 2 mana spell. And it's a creature.
You could do that. Oh,
and it's a creature, so it does all the creature stuff. So you can reanimate it, you can flicker it, you can skull clamp it, you can block with it, you can sacrifice it. It draws a card if you have like a creature draw effect out. It's a creature on the field for when you create your hoof. It does all of those things on top of getting a forest, a non-basic forest into play untapped. And Cultivate does none of that. Cultivate gets you one extra card in hand.
But that is, yeah, but it's setting you up for the later turns. And it's decent fixing. You can get a land of any type, any basic, so.
Yeah, but so is Wood Elves. Wood Elves is really good fixing, too.
What about Topiary Stomper?
That one's pretty good.
I know it doesn't get it into play untapped, but I feel like that body is a little bit better.
Yeah, but I don't really care about the body. Like, so Topiary Stomper is a 3-mana 4/4 with Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, search a library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. And it can't attack or block unless you have 7 or more lands. I think this is okay. I think you need more synergy for this than with Wood Elves. Because, 1, it's harder to cast. It's 1 green. 2, it only gets a basic. Tapped. And then it's just a 4/4 with Vig. Which is good stats. Like, a 3-mana 4/4 with Vig is good. But I care much less about the stats in Commander. Especially in green. Because you're going to be getting way bigger shit than a 4/4, you know? But, so, I don't know. I think if you care specifically about the 4 power, like if you're in, like, Goreclaw kind of a deck, or maybe, like, a Xenagos kind of situation, where you care about something with like high, like having things with high power, then it's pretty good. But in terms of being better than, or it's a Dino. So if in your Dino deck, this is really good because it's a Dino that mana fixes. But I still think Wood Elves is better for sure.
Okay,
this is like actual like standard level appropriate Wood Elves, because non-standard Wood Elves is like very powerful. Could you imagine, like, what if Topiary Stomper got you a Triumph? Like, Domain is already, like, one of the best decks. And now, that's, like, insane. Because you're not using your Topiary, like, even in Standard, you're not using you're, like, not attacking with your Topiary Stomper. You're using it to mana fix, so you can get a Trax out. Which is why, like, so I don't really care that this body's better. You know? What do you think, Ryan? I've been yabbing.
No, you're fine. You're making sense. To me, the Triome isn't as big of a deal because that's going to enter tapped anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's nice to be able to tutor it, but the move is better when you can, like, get a shock land or some other land that's going to enter untapped. You know what I mean? I think that's where, like, the real power comes in. I think this is decent in Commander purely just from the fact that, like, hitting 7 lands is kind of arbitrary. It's not super, super hard. And this is going to do, I think the body is better for blocking in that case. And if you wanted to swing, a 4 is pretty solid. You know what I mean? You can do kind of the Toski thing. So if every time it smacks, you're going to draw a card, you can enchant it, do some other stuff. So I think it's solid for, like, casual Commander. Yeah, it's definitely not, like, doing any crack stuff or, like, you know, it's not going to get a Triome, but in my head too, talking about, like, mono green, I'm thinking about, like, just a mono green deck, and I think this is, like, a decent body to get out at 3 mana for a mono green deck to also get a second land onto the field. You know what I mean? Obviously not. I'd give it like maybe like a B.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
yeah,
it might be an A.
It's fine.
It might be an A. I don't know. It seems like pretty good. I just would personally, for how decks I run, I like Wood Elves more. But it's still really good at what it does. Like, just the 3 mana creature getting a land into play, that's really, really good. So,
yeah, and I mean, just run both of them.
Yeah, or run at least one. Like, if you have a Topiary Stomper, don't not
Yeah.
run it, because this thing is good. But in comparison to Wood Elves, I like Wood Elves more. And I like Wood Elves more than Cultivate. But I think it does really depend on the deck, because So, like, I have this deck. I have Joel Rail Mage of Zalfir, or Voice of Zalfir, and I don't run Wood Elves in it. I had the Wood Elves, and I took them out of the deck because she says at the beginning of combat on your turn, up to one target land you control becomes an XX green and blue bird creature target with flying and hasten on a turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So the Cultivate is really good because it does get you that extra card in your hand. You just need to get as many cards in your hand as possible.
Yeah, yeah. You're playing some 4D chess over here.
I know. So I just think it,
but yeah,
like, just have your ramp synergize with what your deck is doing. So, like, if you care about creatures, don't run Cultivate, run all the creatures. But if you don't care about, like, if you care about land drops specifically, like the act of playing lands, Cultivate is probably better in your deck.
Yeah,
but not a lot of,
I would agree.
Not
with
every
that.
green deck cares about the, like, landfall. They care about mana, but they don't care about the act of playing a land. That doesn't really matter. They just care about, I need the mana to do my counters, my reanimation, my other things.
Yeah. You're spitting facts.
I'm trying.
But green, so green is really solid. That was just like a very small tid. We were screaming in the other one. Yeah, it was good. Rip in peace. But yeah, green's really good at tutoring up lands and also just mana acceleration in general. Another thing I think that it's pretty solid at is going to be like creature tutors on top of that land stuff. It's pretty solid at, doing just like worldly tutor, which is just part of that cycle. But then there's also stuff like Fierce Empath, which is a 2 mana and a green creature elf. I think it's a 1/1, right? Mm-hmm. And it brings, you can tutor for something in your deck that's 6 mana value or more. So that's always like a really solid.
Yeah, this is a great one.
Like win con getter.
Yeah, it's been printed a million times. So it's 8 cents. And so this is a really good budget tutor. Because a lot of your green win cons are 6 mana or greater.
Yeah, yeah. And it is mana value 6 or greater, solid. So yeah, that's a really solid one. What was the one you were going to pull up for a second? Is it Archdruid's Charm?
Yeah, Archdruid's Charm is kind of insane. It just came out in Murders of Markov Manor because it's green, 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 which is another green thing. Is that green has really powerful effects that are very like green mana intensive more than other colors because it makes you because green has a fixing, so it kind of like leans into its strength. So like it's a cost. But, like, not really, because you're going to have that fixing anyway. But Archdruid's Charm, green, 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 for an instant, choose one, search your library for a creature or land card and reveal it. Put it onto the battlefield tapped if it's a land card. Otherwise, put it in your hand and then shuffle. So it's 3 mana instant speed ramp for any land, not just basic, not just of a type, just any land. So your best land in your deck. There's a lot of really good decks, or a lot of really good lands. Or get a creature in your hand at instant speed. And then it does other things too. It is a fight spell that puts a counter on a creature, or exile target artifact or enchantment. So that's basically green. This is the most green card of all time. Because if you want to know what green does, it's this, basically.
Yeah, it smashes artifacts and enchantments. It puts counters on things. It fights things.
It's actually not a fight. It's a punch. It's put a +1 counter on target creature you control. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So it's better than a fight.
Somehow even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card is absolutely cracked. And being able to put whatever land you want onto the battlefield for 3 green is crazy. Yeah. There's a lot of dumb stuff that you can get. That lets you get, like, Field of the Dead. If you're playing Golgari, you can get either Urborg or Coffers, whatever one that you don't have.
You can get... Rogue's Passage.
Reliquary Tower, if you're doing your Joel deck. Mm-hmm. Unless you just hold a bunch of cards. Yeah, that one's crazy. But yeah, so that's another thing that green is pretty solid at, is tooting up creatures and
lands.
And lands, yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything that you want. You're not getting anything other than that anyway. You know what I mean?
We also got green is really good at like landfall. Like the word landfall is a very, very green ability. It's not exclusive to green, but it's like mostly in green. So like whenever a land enters the battlefield, do a bunch of shit.
XYZ happens, yeah. Which is like landfall is just a stupidly cracked mechanic because you're basically getting payoff for doing the thing that you have to do
For
anyway.
just playing the game, the Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely the most like infamous card of this style would be Scoot Swarm, or like landfall card would be. It's a 2 in a green mana insect 1/1 with landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, make a 1/1 green insect creature token. If you control 6 or more lands, create a token that's a copy of Scoot Swarm instead. And you play 1 land, and then you make 2 Scoot Swarms, and then you play another land, and you make 4 Scoot Swarms, and then you make 8, and then before you know it, you have not enough dice.
Yeah, before you know it, you're like putting it into the calculator app on your phone.
Yeah, it's giving 2048 from high school.
Yes, it is very 2048. I miss 2048.
Yeah.
I was a big 2048 guy.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in my English class playing that game.
Sliding blocks.
Absolutely.
But
this is the Magic card
Yes,
version of that.
Sure. Wow. Because what's busted about landfall is that you don't get. It's like a planeswalker. It's like once the landfall effect is on the battlefield, if they have a land in hand, they're gonna get at least one, because playing a land is a state-based action. You can't respond to them playing a land. So they play the Scoot Swarm. It resolved is on the field, and they're gonna get to play that land, and they're gonna get at least one Scoot Swarm. So if like even if you kill it, they're still gonna have the one. They're still because then they're gonna have the token copy as you kill it on the stack.
Yeah.
So landfall is really, really good. What's another landfall creature?
Oh, what's the one that makes 3/3s? Rampaging Baloth?
Yeah. So like, there's a lot of these.
Is it that?
A lot of them are Rampaging Baloth. Whenever land enters battlefield under your control, you may create a 4/4 beast creature token.
Yeah,
Badass.
so you're making bigger bodies. Yeah, that's really solid. Also, Tireless Provisioner.
And Tireless Tracker. Tireless Tracker.
Yeah. Either or.
Yeah, 3 mana, 3/2 with landfall. Whenever a land enters battlefield under control, create a food token or a treasure token. And then Tireless Tracker makes clues. And when you sack the clues, you put a counter on it.
Yeah.
This card's really good. 'Cause
So,
it gives
yeah.
mana. This is like a Lotus Cobra. Oh, we got to talk about Lotus Cobra.
Yeah, we have to talk about Lotus
This card's
Cobra.
really cool.
Yeah. It's a 1 in a green snake, 2/1 creature with whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, add 1 mana of any color. Which is sick, because then it turns your cultivate land entering the battlefield tapped into a mana that you can use. And then if you didn't play your land for turn, you play your land for turn, it enters untapped, and then you have 3 mana to cast something else if you want. This card's definitely one that pays off with decent sequencing. You have to like line your shit up kind of the right way in order to get it to like actually be super effective. Otherwise, you'll just end up with like 1 or 2 floating mana that you're like, oh shit, I forgot about that, which still happens all the time. I do that all the time. But this is sick, and I think it's really, really solid early game acceleration. Yeah. It's not always the greatest once you hit it later in the game. It's just kind of a body. It does die to Skull Clamp, which is good. You know, like
It's never dead.
It's
that way it's like never dead.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, especially if you're able to get this out turn 2, you're just like doubling your lands each turn without actually doing anything else.
Yeah. Especially if you can play this into a fetch land. Crazy.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
This into those Outlook lands from New Capenna too that sack right away. Just drop it, get a land out of that too.
That's 2 mana. You got your mana back.
Yeah, it pays for itself as long as you play it right. So it's a good card. I love it. And then if you're doing like Gitrog and Azusa nonsense, so Gitrog, you're playing lands. You're playing an extra land a turn. Azusa, Lost but Seeking, lets you play 2 extra lands a turn, so you're playing 3 extra lands a turn. And then you're playing stuff out of your graveyard. You're playing the same fetch land 3 times in a row and then cracking it and getting 3 lands. So you're going to make 6 mana just from this alone. It gets stupid. Yeah. So that's Landfall. It's kind of a correct ass
Yeah,
mechanic.
it's broken.
Yeah. But Green's also got a lot of infinite mana combos
Yes.
and a lot of just infinite payoffs. So even just like infinite casts and infinite, like, what? I was to say, like, an infinite landfall is super easy with Kodama.
Yeah. And that would give you infinite mana with the Lotus Cobra out. But,
Yep.
yeah, one of my favorite...
Or in Rampaging Balos, it's infinite 4/4s.
yeah. One of my favorite is
Yeah.
cards in Magic is Kodama, the East Tree. It's one of my favorite Magic cards ever. 4 green for a 6/6 with reach. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't put onto the battlefield with this ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser converted mana cost from your hand onto the battlefield. And so then you play a land. Specifically, you play like a bounce land. Like Cynic Growth Chamber is normally the one I do. When a bounce land enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. So you can, but it says a land, so you can return itself. And then, as long as you have like a landfall token maker, something like a Tireless Provisioner, or a Rampaging Balos, or a Scoot Swarm. So you got all these overlapping combo pieces. You'll get infinite lands because you'll get infinite landfall triggers because the Scoot Swarm comes into play. Like the Scoot Swarm token comes into play, and that lets you return the land and then put it back into play because a permanent came into play. And they both have the same mana value. So you just go bam, 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 bam. And you make infinite whatever you want.
Yeah, it just keeps going. Isn't there's also like a slight danger, obviously, like you don't have to play the game like this, so you can always just say it stops, but there are some weird rules interactions where you do this and then it kind of just accidentally goes forever.
Yes, with there's what's the one
where like in theory the stack never finishes resolving, so the game is ended in a draw, and usually when that happens everyone's kind of like, let's just say you got 69 million.
No, there was one. Yeah, because that happened in one of our games. We had to just be like, you get like a couple.
You get like a
Because
couple.
we didn't notice it. It's Sporemund. Whenever a land in his battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. And then there was something that was like whenever a land enters... like
it's a Shia, so all your creatures are lands, and
well,
then
Shia
when
is
you
non-token. It's only non-token because of
is
that.
it
Yeah,
non-token?
so
It was something else like that
yeah.
then.
But there was something where it was like
Yeah.
it just kept going forever. So like it like never ends. And so technically if that happens, the Spore Mound player leaves the game. They're like they kill themselves basically. That's the proper judge ruling. Is that if you have an infinite action that can't resolve itself, you have to leave the game because like you're the offending party that's messed up this game of Magic. You messed up.
That's pretty funny, actually. I didn't know that. I thought everyone just draw.
No, you would lose. But if that's okay if you can kill this on the stack, like if you have a sacrifice outlet or something like that.
Oh, yeah, to get rid of the Spore Mound. For some reason, I thought Spore Mound was a enchantment. But yeah, super stinky. What's some other combos that Green's got, though?
Oh.
Is there anything else?
Oh yeah, there's more. We got things like this goes in all your elf decks like Marwyn the Nurturer or Lathril, Blade of Elves. It's so Wirewood Symbiote one green mana for a 1/1. Return an elf you control to its owner's hand. Untap target creature. Activate this ability only once each turn. And so if you have a way that you can make Wirewood Symbiote an elf, or like you untap an elf and then somehow get Wirewood Symbiote back to your hand in another way, so you can just cast it again with that mana and have mana left over, you'll get infinite mana. Like you can do, so like if you have Maskwood Nexus out, so this is an elf, you can return this to your hand to untap your mana dork that nets mana, and now you have infinite cast triggers, you have infinite mana, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And there's other ways you can do it too. Or Curian Ranger is my favorite one. It's 1 green for a 1/1. Return a forest you control to its owner's hand. Untap target creature. So it's the same thing, but it's a forest. You can only do it once each turn. So if you can get multiple lands into play, or like a Shia turns Curian Ranger into a forest, so you can return like Curian Ranger to your hand to untap a creature, so you can get infinite mana. There's a bunch of ways.
Well, then the other thing is when it enters, you tap it as a forest, float the mana, return it to your hand, untap whatever your other mana dork is too. So you're always like not paying 1 for Curian Ranger too. You're like eliminating its own cost.
Well, you do need to have a haste enabler for that. But
does it still get some insect?
Yeah, if it's a creature, it's just a mana dork at that point. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a forest mana dork.
I got you.
But you got ways I mean, green has Concordant Crossroads, and then you got like Boots and Greaves. So as long as you're netting enough mana, you can just slap Boots on it and just go bam, 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 bam. You know.
Yeah. Sicko mode.
Yeah.
There's also Devoted Druid nonsense where as long as you can put a 1/1 counter on it, it negates the untap thing, and then you just go forever.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, so Devoted Druid goes infinite with a bunch of stuff. So 1 in a green.
You sneeze and Devoted Druid goes infinite.
Add a green, put a -1/-1 counter on it, untap Devoted Druid. So if you can put counters on it by casting spells or by doing things, you can get infinite mana that way. Or this is in Selesnya, but Swift reconfiguration 1 white for flash, enchant creature or vehicle. Enchanted permanent is a vehicle artifact with crew 5 and loses all other types. So it's no longer a creature, it's a vehicle, but it still has put a -1/-1 counter on it. So you get infinite mana. Just go and you put infinite, so it gets infinitely small, infinitely tiny Devoted Druid.
Oh, what's the Abzan D&D legend that makes them enchantments?
Oh, that's a good one.
That guy. It does it with Shelob. Oh yeah, Mercurial, Lord of Bones. Yeah. He's 4 in Abzan for a 7/5. It's one of the D&D God cards. So as long as your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, Mercurial is indestructible. And whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's an enchantment and loses all their card types. So it doesn't have a power toughness. You just tap it, and it just kind of puts the 1/1 counters on it, and it doesn't really care. And you can do the same thing with Shelob from the Lord of the Rings set, because she turns them into foods.
But I think that has to be a creature you don't control, right?
I don't think so.
Whenever another creature dealt damage this turn by a spider you control dies, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a food. So somehow you have to have like a fight spell or something.
Yeah. You can punch your own stuff.
Yeah. Or what's that?
Is it the new Vraska makes like tapped treasure tokens? So you just turn Devoted Druid into a treasure or something like that?
Oh, that would do it too. Wow.
Yeah.
But Viridian Longbow, tap this creature deals 1 damage to any target. So you tap a spider
nice.
With Death Touch, and then you kill your Devoted Druid, and then you get infinite mana.
Yeah. And you get infinite. Hey, stonks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like fair ways to play green where you can just play big stompy things that are going to go smash. You know, you can play Hulk magic, or you can play sneaky little like weasel combo magic.
That's how I like to play green. I like to be a little sneaky.
That's how I like to play Magic too.
But I do like some big stomps as well. I like a Gruul deck.
Hey, it's fun to punch every once in a while, but I like going, I'm not doing anything wrong. Oops, I won.
Do you have a big green stompy deck? I don't know if
I don't,
you should get
no.
one. They're fun, dude. You just play a big thing, you'd be like, I got a big dude. What are you gonna do?
I've got a big dude. I do. We said it on the other one. I'll say it again. I do want to build the Baru Worm Speaker deck, which is
cool. Baru's green as fuck.
yeah.
Baru Worm
Yeah.
Speaker, 2 green. Worms you control. Get +2/+2 and have trample. Pay 7 into green and tap it. Create a 4/4 green worm creature token. This ability costs X, less to activate, where X is the greatest power among worms you control. So worm deck. It's
Worm deck. Yeah, and getting +2/+2 in trample is dumb. That's really good. Yeah, so that's the deck I keep dreaming about making. I just haven't done it yet. So
my favorite.
what do we got?
My favorite.
Oh yeah, which
Just my favorite big.
what-
I love a big like 7 mana green thing, like a creature. Like I kind of want to make a mono green deck that's just big stupid things. There's no combo. Like a Titan of Industry. This card is so cool. 4
Yeah.
green. Reads trample. When it enters the battlefield, choose 2. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Target player gains 5 life. Create a 4/4 green Rhino Warrior creature token and put a shield counter on a creature you control.
yeah, it's so
It's a
good.
big stupid building. It's industry.
Yeah, literally, it's a building.
personified.
It's like a big bank with arms.
Yeah. I don't know why industry is green, but whatever. I fuck with it.
Yeah, Titan of Industry very much feels like just as far away from green as you can get.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe like I don't know, like the idea that like capitalism is like a force of nature. You know.
Oh, maybe it's the banks are a force of nature.
Whoa.
Whoa,
That's what they don't want you to know, man.
this is cheeseburger.
I'm also a big fan of Elder
You
Gargaroth.
better, yes. Sorry, my mic just peaked as fuck, but that was literally the next card I was going to ask you to bring up. I was like, that's my baby.
Yeah, 3 green for a 6/6 with vigilance, reach, trample. Whenever it attacks or blocks, choose one. Make a 3/3. You gain 3 life or draw a card. When it attacks or
Dude,
blocks.
whenever it attacks or blocks,
And
yeah,
it's vigilance.
stupid.
And trample.
Yeah.
So stupid.
And all the modes are so good. It's like if you're super ahead, you just start making bodies. If you need life, you're gaining a good chunk of life.
That 3 life
and
could matter for sure. When you're like, I'm almost dead, I'm
Yeah.
gonna gain 3 life and like pray. That's real.
Also, good as fuck politicking thing for blocking. It's like, hey, just swing a 1/1 at me. I'll block with my Gargaroth and gain some life, and then I'll help you take this other person down. And it's like,
Or help me
okay,
draw
yep,
an
let's do
answer.
it. Yeah, yeah.
It's like, here, I'm going to attack into you because I don't have any way to draw. It's like, okay, I'll take a 6, I guess, because I need to not die right now.
Yeah. Dude, that card is so good. I love that card.
Yeah, so big green, green is so many of these just big dumb things that like do a bunch of things. Like, what's the fucking gorilla?
Kolga?
Oh, Kogla is sweet. That's a different one, actually.
Yeah. Or are you talking about the Silverback?
Silverback Elder.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Silverback Elder, 2 green for a 5/7. Whenever you cast a creature spell, choose one. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a land from among them onto the battlefield tapped. You put the rest on the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library, or you gain 4 life. Pretty nuts.
He's also a shaman.
He is a shaman, if you care about shamans. This card was way more. I bought this thing for like $8. It's down to $3.
Damn. Yeah. It's just missing keyword soup. That's all it needs.
Yeah. But it's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's also there's also Questing Beast.
Yeah, Questing Beast has all the keywords. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Green's also really good at Enchantress. It's probably like the best Enchantress color. Like all the enchantment decks for the most part have green in them.
Well, it's because there's literally 5 to 6 different cards that are all 2 to 3 mana that say when an enchantment enters the battlefield, draw a card.
Like Eidolon of Blossoms is my favorite because when it or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card.
So it counts itself, and it gives you a little 2/2 body.
And it's 4 mana, and it is an enchantment. And it's really cheap. It's 50 cents. That's really good.
Yeah. And just like the peak of it all is Sithis, which is 1 white and 1 green. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, you draw a card and gain a life. And then you have like 10 other cards that play exactly like it.
What's the one that's... There's like a constellation... There's one that's like super underrated. Like this is a kill on sight. It doesn't. Yeah, Nisian Wanderer is an insane magic card in an enchantment deck. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a land from among them. Put that card in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So this just like draws so many things, and it lets you like get specific lands you want. Like if you need specific colors or something like that. Like this thing like goes really hard.
I can't, because I've played an Enchantress deck, and like the amount of card, like you play a 1 mana enchantment and you're gonna draw 3 or 4 cards.
Yeah.
If you draw 3 or 4 cards, also get to look at 3 and get a land out of it, and either remove a bunch of stuff from the library that you don't need, or just keep chugging through your deck. That's like so much value, because every time an enchantment enters, you're gonna do that like 2 to 3 times in a turn at least.
Yeah, it gets silly.
That's stupid. Yeah, that's crazy.
Or you got what's another one? I'm looking in the wrong category.
You're looking at
I'm
satyrs.
looking at satyrs. Here it is. Composer of Spring. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you control 6 or more enchantments, instead you may put a creature or land into play.
What?
Yeah. For 2 mana, it's a 2 mana 1/3.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They just be printing anything. I thought like just two minutes ago, I thought Topiary Stomper was good.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So green's
Nice.
really good at enchantments. It's good at like
Yeah.
it's the best enchantment color.
Yeah, and all the value is there. Really, you're playing white for like the crazy enchantments that white has, because white just has like dumb shit. So it's just like you're using green for all the value and for all of the ramp and everything to play these just like massive white enchantments that destroy the game.
Like Hallow Haunting.
Yeah, dude, that card is crazy. Let's not talk about the time I discarded it and then was immediately upset about it.
I remember that.
Green's really good at removing non-creature permanents. What are you bringing up?
I don't know if I even know how to spell it.
That would make both of us. Excuse me. Oh.
Terastodon, 6 green.
Terastodon.
When it enters the battlefield, destroy 3 target non-creature permanents. So, like, that's kind of Green's things, that they can blow up non-creature permanents on a lot of their cards, and they use that phrase specifically, non-creature permanents. For each permanent put into a graveyard this way, its controller creates a 3/3 elephant creature token.
Yeah, and it's a 9/9.
Yeah, it's a big dude.
Yeah, so that's a classic. There's what's the other one? Nature's Claim?
Or Beast Within?
What's the 1-mana one that's destroy artifact or enchantment?
Oh, yeah, no, that's Nature's Claim.
Okay. We can definitely talk about Beast Within,
Oh, we
too.
have to. But yeah, Nature's Claim is
Yeah.
kind of like on the further end of the spectrum. So it's a 1-mana, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Green is like so good at blowing up artifact or enchantment, so like naturalize effects, because like it's like a non-natural thing. It's like it's the magic. It's like the opposite of nature. It's like humans made this. Fuck this. This needs to go.
Yeah, get it out of here. This didn't grow.
This did not grow. This was made.
This hasn't been here. Yeah, this was placed.
And my favorite is definitely Nature's Claim, because it's 1 mana and they gain 4 life.
At instant speed is crazy.
Like, and who cares about 4 life?
It's
It's a 10th of their
Yeah.
life. You're in green. That's 1 attack from a Topiary Stomper.
Yeah, that's 4 wood elves.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff like that. They also attach stuff like that to bodies where it's like pay 1 mana, sacrifice something, destroy target artifact, or destroy creature with flying. There's also a lot of cards that are like destroy target creature with flying.
Yeah.
Like Plummet.
Plummet's
That's the first one that always comes to my mind. Atraxas Falls is really good.
That was typically a 3 mana effect. The like get the artifact, enchantment, and a creature with flying. But this one's 2 mana, so that's just really efficient. This is a sorcery though. But 2
Yeah.
mana for Atraxas Falls are like pretty good.
Yeah, 2 mana to kill Atraxa. Not too bad.
That's true. 2 mana to kill an Atraxa. I'll take that. In a mono green deck?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. People need to start running
I'm
Plummet
kind of
stuff
sold,
again.
actually. I might just start running
Yeah.
Atraxas Falls.
Also, Atraxas Fall has some of the hardest art I think we've gotten in recent Magic times.
Yeah, and Hinsey in the flavor text, fallen angels should stay fallen. Damn, Hinsey. What the
Bars,
fuck?
dude.
Bars.
Dude, that's good right before like a hardcore breakdown.
Yeah, like with the
Scream.
where they do like the behind the neck chime thing.
Yeah, there's the China going, and then it cuts out. You scream that bar, and then they do the bleh, they do the bleh right into the breakdown. Ooh. But yeah, so Green does a bunch of that nonsense, but then they've also got the one toolbox killer.
Definitely a power or like a color pie break. Definitely a color pie break.
A little oopsie.
Yeah, they should not have made this card. But it's in the format, so you should definitely play it in every green deck. It's Beast Within, 3 mana, destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast creature token. This is like exclusively white now. Like any new effect that does that is like only white. But green had it for this card. For some reason. Where's this from? It's from New Phyrexia. It's the original one.
Yeah.
Weird. Because it's just target permanent. So the big thing that's bad about this in the color, like bad as in color pie, like breaking, is that it can blow up creatures. Like green does not destroy creatures. It deals with creatures, so it makes creatures like fight. You know, like
Yeah. Rabid Bite.
or ram through is my favorite. One
Oh, Ram Through's good.
One in a green, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage dealt that creature's controller instead.
Yeah.
So, this is definitely the best
Trample.
version of the of the punch. So these are called punches because of Savage Punch. And then fights are called Wait, maybe I got that mixed up. Oh well. There's a bite, which is like it dealing damage to its power, and then there's like a fight, which is where they like fight each other, where they deal damage to each other.
Yeah.
So bites are definitely the best, but sometimes fights are good if you care about dealing damage to your own creatures, like with an enraged kind of thing.
Like a dino deck, or if you're playing something where you actually want stuff to die, it's an easy way to get that value without having to like swing and hope that they block or something like that. But that's like that's pretty much all of Green's removal. Green doesn't really have any like board wipe type tech.
Yeah, well, there's like mass naturalized effects, like what's that one with the bears?
Oh, return to nature or claim to nature.
Fade from history. 2 green.
Fade from. Ooh, that was close.
Yeah. 2 green for each player who controls an artifact or enchantment creates a 2/2 green bear creature token. Then destroy all artifacts and enchantments. This card's really underplayed. This card's really good.
Yeah, that card is really good.
Like, this just destroys your opponent if they're an artifact or enchantment deck. But it's just like very efficient. It's like it's gonna kill all their all the mana rocks are gone. All the annoying little like draw spells or like what are they called? The things that like ghostly prisons. They're all gone.
Oh yeah.
And like maybe you're good.
Basically, rid stacks.
Yeah, you just get rid of all the annoying shit. All that's left is creatures, and you're green, so you like creatures. So you're winning in the creature department already. And the art is so cute. He's got these bears on him. They're so cute.
The bears are adorable.
Yeah, the bears are really good.
Yeah.
So super underplay card. This is like green Wrath of God. I think it's that good, personally.
Okay.
I mean, it's 4 mana.
Okay.
And you give them all a bear. Who cares? Like, that's so... like, I don't care about giving them a 2/2. They can have a 2/2.
Yeah.
I will stomp over that 2/2 immediately. I don't care.
I care only because they're so cute.
They are cute. That's fine.
Yeah.
What's the bear token? Oh.
I'd be like, I give you guys a turn with the bear. Oh, okay. Wait, never mind.
It's not as cute as I thought it would be.
No, I really thought with it being a 2/2, they'd make it the little cub. If anyone's not watching, it's giving Cocaine Bear, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like surrounded by like a Brothers War robot. It looks pretty crazy. This is a decent bear token. Look at that guy.
That's good.
Yeah, that's
I like the belly.
We should do a token tier list episode. Whoa, look at this one. Whoa, this thing's weird.
Oh
looking.
my god, that's crazy.
Bears, bro.
Is that Onslaught?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I didn't know if it said it on the Scryfall
It
thing
didn't.
or
It
not.
said that was like a player's reward. Or...
Oh, weird.
Yep, that was Onslaught.
Yo! My brain is huge.
We need to go outside.
We
This is getting embarrassing. Okay.
No, I'm scared of contact. Something that falls pretty in this vein, but on kind of the opposite side of the spectrum, because we're talking about a lot of destroying and blowing stuff up. But green's also really good at protection, and like single target protection. So we're talking like Tamiyo safekeeping is probably like one of the top versions of this. So it's a 1 green instant speed card that says target permanent you control gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. You gain 2 life. Gain 2 life is a little meh. It's like okay, but in Commander I don't think 2 is necessarily all that important.
It's good another.
But this is a really good like, no, you're not touching my big dude, or like, hey, this is my setup thing, you're not touching it.
And it's
Yeah.
permanent. It's not just a creature, because there's other ones that are like Snakeskin Veil, which is like target creature gets hexproof and gets a counter, that's really good. But target permanent you control gains hexproof and indestructible. So if like this stops this saves your most important thing from a board wipe, for 1 mana. So very easy to hold up. Just really really crazy pushed version of this effect, because there's been other versions of it before, but this is definitely the best one.
Yeah. And then there's like a classic heroic intervention. Yeah. So it's 1 and a green, instant, permanent you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So this is awesome because it's giving everything you have hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So this is like the perfect board wipe fuck off card.
Yeah, and it's all permanents you control, which is crazy. So
Yeah. Play this and then cast Armageddon.
fuck. That's me. Also, an underrated card that I think more decks should play. This card's banned in formats. Veil of Summer, 1 green. Draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn. Spells you control can't be countered this turn. You and permanents you control gain hexproof from blue and from black until end of turn. This card's fucking bananas. Like, this has so many text on it. It's much better in 60 card formats as like a sideboard card. But it's still really, really good. In Commander, because it just stops counter spells. It's like you have this. I got this big thing that I need to resolve, so I can get the ETB. 1 extra mana. It's uncounterable. Crazy.
Yeah. I just found one of these in my bulk the other day, and I gotta add it to Muldrotha. I like found it in a little thing, and I was like, oh.
I got mine in like a bulk thing. I bought like a stack of cards from a guy on Facebook Marketplace, and I found one in there.
Nice.
There's also
we had dual hums there for a second.
Autumn's Veil. It's like the original version. Spells you control can't be countered this turn by blue or black spells this turn, and creatures you control can't be the target of blue or black spells this turn. So this card's also really, really good. I think more decks should run this. Veil of Summer is just better because it's a cantrip too, so it replaces itself. But this is still pretty good because it's like none of your shit can be kept. Like, still a counter spell and a hexproof spell for 1 mana. So pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Green is pretty good at drawing cards, specifically with your creatures. Like Beast Whisper. 2 green for a 2/3. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. And there's other things like this. There's like an enchantment version of this, where it's like whenever a non-token creature that doesn't have the same name as a creature you control enters the battlefield, draw a card.
Which in Commanders, just draw a card anytime you cast a creature spell. Yeah. There's also, it just flew out of my brain. Oh, crap, what was it?
We got
Garruk's. You got it.
Garruk's Uprising.
Yeah.
When it enters the battlefield, if you control a creature at power 4 or greater, draw a card. So, Dees. Creatures you control have trample. Whenever a creature at power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So as long as you're playing green, as long as you keep doing big stompy dudes, you'll keep drawing cards, and it gives all your creatures trample, that's really nice in decks that like make big tokens that don't have trample. That's really sick, because then you're like, okay, like if your commander makes like a just like a 4/4, or like with Rampaging Balos, this is so crazy because the Balos don't have trample. They're just 4/4s, which is still good, but they're just 4/4s. But now the 4/4s have trample, and they draw a card every single time.
Yeah. Which then immediately turns your green Stompy deck into a green draw your deck, which is funny.
So this card's really, really good in
And-
a ton of decks. It's also an enchantment.
This card is perfect with Topiary Stomper because it gives it trample and it draws off it.
Yeah.
I think Topiary Stomper might be our MVP.
It might
of the
be.
night,
Like, the
folks.
more we talk about it, the more I'm down with Topiary Stomper.
I'm gonna just start jamming it in decks just to see how it
It
plays.
probably is good, honestly.
Yeah, it's probably fine. I'll say, did you have anything else on this on the drawn card
Yes,
stuff?
there's one more thing. There's like big fucking sorceries that do it.
Oh yeah.
Briscar's Expertise, 6 mana.
Uh-huh.
Draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Or there's Shamanic Revolution. Draw cards for each creature you control. So you got one for each. Are you going wide? You play Shamanic Revolution. Are you going tall? You play Briscar's Expertise.
It's a shamanic revelation.
Oh, what I say? Revolution?
Yeah.
Revolution would be cooler. I want the fucking shamans to revolt.
That'd be That's definitely a Gruul card.
Yeah, Shamanic Revolution.
Shamanic Revolution.
Would
Yeah,
go
that
hard.
would be actually really
Red
sick.
green. What would that do? It'd be draw a card for each creature you control.
They get +1/+1 and gain haste until end of turn.
Or creatures you control gain pay 1. This creature fights another creature until end of turn.
Oh,
And it's like two green red. So 6 mana.
yeah.
Dude, I can make magic cards, dude. Give me,
Yeah.
Gavin, get me in there.
Let's get that and Urza's hot dog stand rolling.
Yo, Urza's hot dog stand was sick.
Yeah.
What was what's the big fucking this one last.
Return of the Wild Speaker.
That one is great. But I was thinking of this stupid card.
Oh.
Last March of the Ints. Have you seen this thing? I've never seen it cast, but it's so crazy. 6 green. Sorcery. This spell can't be countered, so this shit's happening no matter what. Draw cards equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control, and then put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. So you draw like 30 cards, 20 cards, or whatever, how big a fucking dude you have, and then you just like put them all into play.
Brr.
Yeah. It's fucking.
That has to go in Hullclad because that's easy.
Oh god, yeah, that'd be really good.
That's like at least draw 15.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
insane. And then you put a bunch of dudes in.
Nice. That's sick.
So yeah,
Yeah, you slam a bunch of dudes in, and then you're probably going to draw a bunch of cards off those dudes.
yeah. So green is good at like engine draw with your like your enchantment draw, like your enchantresses draws. There's some like +1/+1 counter draw spells. There's like whenever you cast a creature, draw a card. And then there's just big fucking like a ritual draw spells where you're just I'm going to draw like so many cards. I'm drawing like 15 cards from one spell, which is insane. Like no other color can do that as efficiently as green. Like black can do that
Yeah.
by paying a bunch of life. Blue can do that like by paying a bunch of mana. Red can't do that
Yeah.
at all.
No.
White can't do that at all.
And neither can. Yeah.
And then but
Green's the only one that has like a cemented mana cost that when you cast the spell, that's all the mana investment you
Yeah.
need. The rest is carried by like your creatures doing
yeah,
stuff.
so it's like you gotta have the creatures in play to get this effect, but just have creatures in play, which is easy because you've already ramped by turn to 10 mana on turn 5. You know, it's just like it's crazy.
Yeah. Your first couple of turns are all just setting up a bunch of mana, so like playing a 8 mana sorcery is not going to be hard by turn 5 or 6. Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. What else do we have about green?
you want to talk about some overruns?
Yeah, green's really good at finishing the game. What are some overruns you like, Ryan?
Oh, I'm trying to think of a fun hipster one.
Well, we got just overrun, which is 2 green, green, green.
Yeah, just overrun.
Creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample in turn. So it's like you've gone wide, you have a bunch of elves. How are you going to win the game? You give them all +3/+3 and trample. There you go.
Done. Easy peasy. I think Craterhoof is fun because of the art. Dude is just a big frog.
Yeah, he's big.
Like, look at
Yeah, he's a beast.
that art, like, when people are like, I'm tired of seeing Craterhoof, I'm like, how? Look at him.
He's just not in play for
It's
very
a
long
big-
because the game's over. So you don't really get to see him that much.
He's just so funny looking. He doesn't look that scary. He's just huge.
Yeah, he's just big as fuck. So yeah, Craterhoof Behemoth. When you ETB, creatures you control gain trample, gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control, which is just stupid. You need like 5 creatures to kill a player. It's crazy. And he has haste, so he gets to attack too.
Yeah.
Very pushed card.
There's also one that is not pushed very much, I don't think, is Storm the Citadel.
What? Storm the Seagore?
No, Storm the Citadel.
Really? I don't know what that is.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It's from yeah.
Okay.
So it's a 5-mana sorcery. Until end of turn, creatures you control get +2/+2, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or a planeswalker, destroy a target artifact or enchantment defending player controls.
Okay.
So it's it's a little buff. It's not. I guess it's not overrun because you're not getting trample out of it, but it does kind of give you the ability. Like if you're wide enough, you can get rid of some extra problems. And deal some
that seems
damage.
pretty
So
good. Yeah, I've never seen that. That's pretty great.
it's solid. The thing is, this card is just slightly not good enough, just because it doesn't give trample. Because it's like if there's enough things to block stuff, then it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah. But
yeah,
if you're in a deck that goes wide enough, this is pretty good. And then you'll just get like even if you have one thing go through, like you'll blow up their stuff.
yeah. Like if there's a problem thing, you can definitely kind of hone in on it and get rid of it while dealing some extra
Or just
damage.
have
The +2/+2 is not bad.
Just have things with
Yeah.
that have evasion already, and like
I mean, yeah. You just have Garruk's Uprising
there
too,
you go. So,
and then that does it. Yeah. Okay.
no, this card's
okay.
pretty good. I've never seen this before.
Or-
Like there's
Hell
better
yeah.
stuff.
I have like 2 or 3 copies. I just haven't got. I've never cast it. I'm always like, I don't know.
I don't know. It seems fine. If you cast this, I'd be like, okay, yeah. I mean, there's just better things than this, But this is 3 cents, and Craterhoof Behemoth is like $27. So, like there's like yes, Craterhoof Behemoth is really good, but you're gonna pay like 2 hours of work for it. Like this, they're giving Storm the Citadel away at your LGS right now.
Yeah, they'll pay you to take
Yeah.
this. And it's also a little bit less of a mana investment. It's 1 green and 4 generic mana.
Yeah,
So it's not like Overrun or Craterhoof where you have to have the full 3 green to kick it.
Yeah. I kind of know. I don't mind that at all. That's kind of decent.
Nice. I think the art's kind of fun too.
Yeah, it's cool. It's got
It's the
Nikki Bolas.
purple and stuff.
You also got
It's got Nikki Bolas Minaj.
Triumph of the Hordes.
Oh, wait, can you put the Fallout art up?
What about the Fortnite art? I don't think there is a.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I misspoke. I meant Fortnite. I'm sorry.
2 green. Until end of turn, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample and infect.
This is a really good way to close out the game.
Yeah, if you can go big enough.
Gain trample and infect is dumb.
Yeah. So if you can go wide enough and big enough, you'll kill a player with this. And like 4 mana kill a player is pretty good.
Oh yeah. 4 mana kill a player or 4 mana give each player enough poison counters that you can do other stuff is like solid.
Yeah.
And it's got Fortnite art. Let's go.
Yeah, if you really, because this card's already kind of salty for some people, and then if you like play the Fortnite version, that'll make them even more salty, which is fun.
Yeah. I like it. I think it's funny.
All right, we're back from potties and laundry.
We had to, oh my God, we had to adult for a minute.
I'm adulting.
I'm hashtag adulting
Don't talk to
right
me until
now.
I've had my wine.
So, what's that?
Green is really, really, really good at regrowth effects. Like the best at regrowth effects. So not reanimation, but like this card from Alpha, Regrowth. 1 in a green, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. It is really, really good because no other
Really good.
colors get return target card. Because blue can get instants and sorceries back. White can get some creatures back to the battlefield. And can get artifacts and enchantments, tons of artifacts and enchantments back from the graveyard to the battlefield. Black can get all kinds of creatures back to hand, back to battlefield, put back in your deck. They can do whatever you want with the creature.
Yeah.
And sometimes planeswalkers. And white can do permanents too. Like they can do any permanent with like Sun Titan, stuff like that.
Yeah. It just has to be a specific mana value.
Yeah.
It's like 3 or under, typically.
And now 4. It got kind of power crept. There's like
Yeah.
a new angel in the new set that does mana value 4, which is pretty good. It's like 7 mana, so it's kind of a lot, but it seems good.
It's 1 mana more than Sun Titan.
But it's only on ETB. It's not attack like Sun Titan, so I'm still probably running Sun Titan. But it's cool.
No, for sure.
It's good for sure.
Yeah.
But green can do anything. Any card in your graveyard back to hand is really, really good. And so the classic is Regrowth. This card's still pretty good. I think more decks should just run Regrowth. It's not the best one. The best one, there's 2 that I would say are the best ones. You got Eternal Witness, because it's on a body, which just makes it way better, because it draws you cards. Mm-hmm. You can Skull Clamp it. You can flicker it. You can do all the stupid stuff you can do with any creature. So one of the best cards in Commander, like top 50 card probably, I think, in Casual Commander.
Yeah.
And then they also have Balaged Recovery, which is 3 mana regrowth. But the back, so it's a sorcery, but the back is a land. It's a land.
Yeah.
So you can cut. I say you can cut a land for this. Some people say you need this is like half a land, but because it's a tapped land, it's a tapped forest basically. So this card's insane. You should run this in like every single deck. That's green, I think, unless you're going like super high power. But like anything that's like where you're winning by like turn 8 at the earliest, you know. So most Commander games, like you can run this.
Yeah. And it just gets better the more decks you play it in, because it just gives you so many more options comparatively to like what other stuff can get back. Mm-hmm. I love Balaged Recovery. I think that scene's going to be my back tattoo.
It's nice.
It's nice. It's sick. I love that card. And Regrowth is really good too.
Yeah, more decks could just run Regrowth, because I mean, for 2 mana for that, it's pretty good. Because this is 3 mana, and this is good. And like, land does kind of step it up in power, but it's pretty good. But there's a bunch of other like lower power ones, but like kind of bump up with synergy. There's like one with like Proliferate from
all
will be one. Yeah, there's like a 2 mana return target permanent card. So that's something they've done to power this effect down. Is that green can regrowth a permanent card to your hand, which is still pretty good.
I'm gonna see if I can't find it real fast. just because I'm curious.
This is one of my favorite cards, especially in a mono green deck. It's once in future because it's 4 mana for an instant, though. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Put up to one other card from your graveyard on top of your library. Exile once in future. So you get 2 cards. And if at least 3 green mana was spent to cast a spell, instead return those cards to your hand and exile once in future. So I like this one a lot. Did you get 2 cards?
Wait, let me take a look at it real fast. Oh, yeah. The addendum, or is it adamant?
Adamant.
Okay. I'm trying to find the one from the new Phyrexia set. Yeah, Unnatural Restoration.
That's it.
51 cents.
I can't spell. Natural Restoration. Return target permanent card from a graveyard to your hand. Proliferate for 2 mana. So, if you're in a deck that cares about proliferating, this is really good. What's nice about...
That would go hard in the Mothman deck.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
What's nice about Proliferate is that most Proliferate decks care about permanents.
Yeah.
Planeswalkers, they're permanents. +1/+1 counter decks, you need permanents to go to put the counters on. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's a good card.
yeah, if you care about the Proliferate, this thing's really, really good.
Yeah, I have to give it a go. That's some stinkage right there.
Big stinkage. And so these are just good because it's redundancy. It's like you have your big, powerful pieces and someone blows them up. It's just, they're back. They're back in my hand. I'm going to cast them again. Let's see if there's any other ones.
That's what I'm searching. I'm searching.
Oh, okay. You got you got Den Protector.
What'd you
It's
find?
a morph. So if you care about morphs, this is really good because it's a Megamorph, which is really dumb.
Oh, Den Protector.
I
Yeah.
don't believe in morph as like a deck. I think. I don't know, man. I don't want to see you turn shit face up, dude. I just don't think it's that.
If I wanted to watch you turn something face up, I'd play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Dude, I just don't care. It's cool and limited. I think it's really interesting and limited, but in a commander deck, that's like the coolest thing you can do.
Hey, it could be really cool if it's, you never know.
It is cool with the dude that turns when your shit dies, they come back as face down forests. That guy's cool.
Yeah.
I forget what his.
But then how do you turn the forest face up?
Because you play.
Does he turn the forest face up?
You play a bunch of morphs, and so they can turn themselves back face up. So you break the rules of that commander, which is cool. I fuck with that.
Yeah. That is fun. I found a cool one that I think you'd fuck with. I don't know if you've seen it. Bygone Marvels.
Bygone Marvels.
It's from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, but it's 2 green sorcery, descend 8. So when you cast this spell, if there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, copy this spell twice. Holy shit. You may choose new targets for the copies. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Exile Bygone Marvels.
Hell yeah, bro. That seems really good.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, Descend 8 is a lot. But if you're in a deck that can do that, so if you're in a self-mill deck, or if you're in a lands deck, or if you're like a board wipe heavy deck, where you're like, I'm going to blow up everything, and I'll just get my shit back with this, Seems good.
Yeah, or you're just combat heavy. You're just swinging a lot of stuff.
Yeah. No,
and even if you don't, it's 2 green to get something back, which is like still not that bad if we're talking like 1 to 2 color decks.
Yeah.
That could go crazy in Muldrotha.
Or Myco Tyrant.
Yeah.
I need to build.
Well, that was my first thought.
I need to
Yeah.
build Micro Tyrant. I'm working on it. I ordered one. It's on the way. So the Micro Tyrant deck is happening.
Nice. Hell yeah.
What's some other? Oh, this one's I think is really really underrated as well. Dryad's Revival. It's 3 mana for return target card from graveyard to your hand, but it's got flashback. So if you're in a mill deck, this is like really really good because you can mill it away and you can still get the regrowth effect.
Yeah, it still works.
Really really good. I think this is one of the best ones as well.
Yeah, you also got Healing Technique, which is from Strixhaven.
Demonstrate?
That card's like, yeah, it's more cute than anything. To be honest, it's like decent, but comparatively, I don't know if I'd play it over some of these other ones. But it's 3 and a green at sorcery speed with Demonstrate. So when you cast the spell, you can copy it. If you do, choose an opponent, and they also get a copy of it, basically. And then return target permanent card from your hand. You gain life equal to the card's mana value. Exile Healing Technique. So you get basically 2, and someone else gets something back. And you gain some life off of it, too, which is really cool.
I mean, that seems pretty great. It's just that's a little expensive, but it's 4 mana, get 2 cards back, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's definitely not bad. It's definitely at the upper end of it, but you know.
And like
it's,
giving your opponent stuff is like pretty powerful because like you can be very political with it. You can be like, "Hey, can you get that swords back?" Or I can help you get that swords and plowshares back so we can kill this problem. And then they're like, "Hell yeah!" And then they get the swords, and then while they're getting their swords back so they can deal with the problem, you're being the sneaky green player, get your little combo pieces back or whatever.
You're becoming the
problem, yeah. So
yeah, I fucks with it.
So that seems pretty good. And let's finish up with like a couple green commanders. What's your favorite green commander?
I'm gonna have to go back to our list real fast because I forget what I put down to be TBH with you. Okay, this is where I'm going to spit my bit real fast. I think a really fun green commander, not the newest one, but either the original Vorinclex or the +1/+1 counter Vorinclex are both really fun. I think the original Vorinclex, the art is so brutal and the effect is so brutal. It's just like... It's so crazy, and it really does give, like, survival of the fittest. It's like, I am the biggest, I am the best, and now you're fucked. Because his art is horrific. It's like a bone and some sinew. It's something you'd see out of Doom. But Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger, is an 8-mana Praetor who's a 7/6 trampler with whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any type that land produced. Sorry, weird phrase. I broke. Whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, that land doesn't untap during its controller's untap phase. So there's also this like weird level of stacks that you don't get in green at all. Super outside of it. There's not a lot of stuff that's like fucking with other people's lands, but I do like the idea of slamming Vorinclex down and you're like, now I'm the big thing. I'm alien. You know, I'm in the vents. I'm hunting you and you don't know where I am. I'm a big motherfucker. Oh, yeah. And the other one is fun too because it does the exact same thing, but it doubles your +1/+1 counters and it stops your opponents from being able to put counters on stuff. So not only does that fuck with your +1/+1 counter stuff, but if an opponent plays something like a Kalani Heart Expedition and they're putting the quest counters, or they're going to try and put quest counters on it to try and ramp a little bit, it fucks that up. It fucks up Planeswalkers. It's just like also a stupid level of stacks. That one also has haste and trample as a 6/6 for 6 mana, which is maybe a little bit better of a body.
The haste is crazy.
Yeah, I think
in Brawl this thing's fucked up. It's like I'm coming down and it has haste. It's like fucking nuts.
Yeah, you're getting bashed for a large chunk of your life, and also anything you were trying to do is likely fucked now. Like, yeah, I do think Vorinclex is very fun. I would like to build the original one at some point because I have the Phyrexianized one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hot take.
But-
I really like the third Vorinclex. That one's my favorite Vorinclex. I think this card's really cool. It's just Vorinclex, just his Christian name, 3 green, 6/6 trample reach. So we be blocking. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 forest cards. You know how I like the forest cards. Reveal them.
You do like the forest
And
cards.
put them in your hand and then shuffle. So that's solid. If you're in a multicolored deck, this is super good fixing. Yeah, 5 mana fixing is kind of weird, but it's still good. And then it's got 6 green, exile it, return it to the battlefield transformed on its owner's control, activate only as a sorcery. And then it turns into a fucking saga, which is so cool. Yeah. So it does more shit. It just keeps going. So you mill 10 cards and then put up to 2 creature cards from among them onto the battlefield. So if you care about milling cards, that's crazy. And then you just get the 2 best things that you milled. You milled like a 10th of your deck. You'll probably get at least something good. Hopefully, if you build your deck right. In the Myco Tyrant, this is so good in the Myco Tyrant because it's 10 free mills. And so you're probably getting 8 fungus from this.
Okay, hell yeah.
Then 2, distribute 7 counters among any number of target creatures you control. So you can just go make your ship tall or make it go wide and just make yourself a little bigger. Like, I just like slapping on one thing with trample. It's like, I got a 15/15 now, so you got to deal with that.
Nice.
And then last one is until end of turn, creatures you control gain pay 1. This creature fights target creature you don't control. Then you exile it, then you return it to the battlefield. What's crazy is when you return it to the battlefield, you get to search for 2 more forests again.
Yeah, that's actually really fucking stupid.
Yeah,
and the other hype thing is like 5 mana fixing is a little weird, but it's in the zone, so you have access to 5 mana fixing all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which, well, if it's in the zone, you don't really need the fixing, but it's still you're just drawing 2 cards. You know, that's good.
Yeah. More stompy stuff.
Yeah. I like this card a lot. I think it's underrated.
Okay. I was like, I'm not going to lie. I kind of passed on all the Praetors with the Christian names. That shit's so fucking funny. Where they turn into the sagas, because I was kind of like, this is a lot.
They're all really good. Have you, like, Urabrask is crazy. Jin Kataxis is crazy. Shieldred's fucked up. Have you seen Shieldred?
I've seen it. I just don't remember. I've never seen them played. I've never done anything.
It's Shieldred's Edict on a Shieldred. It's a 5 mana 4/5 with menace. So when it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or planeswalker. Non-token.
Okay. Yeah.
Then you pay 5, you exile it, you return to the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery, and only if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard.
Okay.
For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that player controls. Number 2. Each opponent discards 3 cards, then mills 3 cards. Discard 3 cards is fucked up.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then the last one is put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control.
Oh, my God, that's crazy.
Yeah,
okay.
This thing is fucked up,
shit.
dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's fucked.
And the art...
That is crazy.
And the art is crazy because she lost her body, so she's like... just her torso. And like she's like got these weird like spindly spider legs like holding on to like just weird Phyrexian shit. I don't know what's going on in this art, but it's scary.
In my head canon, if I were to like zoom out from that picture, it's giving Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi, or no, Jango Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi fighting on Kamino. You know, on those sloped pylon type things that they're on. Like she's sticking to the side of one of those and she's got all these like little spiders running around her and stuff. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, for sure. What about Jin Kataxis? The Jin Kataxis one's fucked up. Did I spell Jin wrong? Is it 1 N? Jin Kataxis is 1 N.
Uh-huh.
Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, draw a card. So, pretty good. And then the saga is really crazy. It's like Omniscience. It's like a one-time Omniscience.
Oh my god.
You draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand. You have no maximum hand size for as long as you control it. The Saga. Return all non-Phyrexian creatures to their owner's hand, so it just board wipes. And then you may cast any number of spells from your hand without paying their mana costs.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so you draw a bunch of cards, you bounce all your shit, but then you can cast all your shit again for free. While everyone's trying to like slowly catch up, you're like, okay, and it's got ward.
Yeah, the ward is like the cherry on the cake. And the Elesh Norn one is crazy. I forgot it says incubate 2 5 times and then transform all your incubator tokens.
Yeah, so it makes it, you get 10 power on board.
And then the second one is creatures you can control get +1/+1 and gain double strike until end of turn. And then the third one is destroy all other permanents except artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians. That's crazy. Okay, I slept. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh no!
Well, the good news
not
is
the
that
serialized mommy being $1,500.
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, it has signature. It has signature art too. That art is unique to that one,
Yeah.
which they rarely do. But
Yeah, it looks really good.
the Urabrask is actually the best one in this one because it's whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it deals 1 damage to target opponent and add a red. So it's like a Burgie.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
Burgie-
No,
it's a
this card is really
Burgie
good.
Gutter Snipe. And then it does a bunch of stuff. But just the front, Burgie Gutter Snipe. Hell yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, on the front side, Urabrask is just purely the best. The backside for Urabrask is it does 3 damage to target opponent and each creature they control, so like a mini board wipe. Then 2 is create 3 treasure tokens, or 2 is create 3 treasure tokens, and then 3 is until end of turn you may cast instant and sorcery spells from any graveyard. If a spell cast this way would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. That's also kind of crazy. That's a little more dependent on people doing shit, you know.
Yeah. Also,
But that is still
the
super
Saga
cool.
like is the personification of like their dreams and their goals. Like each one, because it's a praetor, it's like what they want to like their dreams of be as a praetor, what they want. So like Urabrask is the great work because he is like Urabrask of the Forge. Like he's about like creating and he's like making the greatest work. So that's what his saga is about, which is so cool. And then Elesh Norn's is Argent etching, so it's like just like how she wants everything to like the perfection. It's like it's carved out of marble. That
Like marble.
Yeah, that's how perfect it is.
Yeah.
So sick. The great synthesis, just like how Jin wants to like make like perfect like artificial life and like perfecting like what's that called? Where you become a Phyrexian?
Oh, completion?
Yeah, it's like perfecting completion. That was like his whole goal.
Yeah. He's the mad scientist.
I don't know what the 3 scriptures is, but that sounds badass. That sounds like some scary Yawgmoth shit.
Yeah, I think that's just the orthodoxy side of it. It's like if you're not with us, then you're against us.
And Vorinclex is the Grand Evolution, which is like the back to green, just like it's like the power of the fittest. It's like I am like the apex predator. Like he wants to be the peak of evolution. He's the most efficient life form on Phyrexia.
Yeah.
Badass.
Which is so sick. That is so fucking green.
Oh yeah.
Yo, that's so green, bro.
So those cards
But
are
I'll say-
sick. So
They are sick.
that's what I'm saying. This is the best Vorinclex. I know we went on a long tangent, but Christian Vorinclex is the best Vorinclex.
I'm gonna try and make a Realm Breaker deck on Arena now, where you just toss all the Praetors into it and then you vomit them onto the field.
That would be sick.
Yeah. But what's we talked about Vorinclex a lot. What do you have for Green Commander?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, I think my favorite Green Commander is Marwyn the Nurturer, because I think she's the best elf commander personally, because she does everything that elves do. She just does the elf thing the best, which says play a bunch of elves, make a bunch of mana, 3 mana 1/1. Whenever an elf enters the battlefield, you put a counter on her, and then you tap her to add a amount of green equal to Marwyn's power. Simple text box, powerful text box. She's a infinite mana outlet in the command zone. She is elves. She's elf mommy. She's like raising the elves. She's growing the elves. She is elves, bro.
Yeah.
This is the most elf commander to me, because it's just like you play elves and then you make an infinite mana. What else do you want to do?
I can't think of anything that feels more elf.
Because there's like the Golgari one, which is like better because adding more colors is better, but boring. I'm trying to be elves. If I'm making an elf deck, I'm being elves, bro. And this is
if you're gonna play. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah, she's the best. I just like her a lot. But I will say I think I'm going in. I think I'm going to take Marwyn apart because she's a little too high.
Okay.
She's a little too high power for our play group. I just never get the player. So I'm going to build Omnath Locust of Mana, because he's also very green. He's probably the most green thing there is, because he's a 3 mana 1/1. You don't lose unspent green mana as steps and phases end, and Omnath Locust of Mana gets +1/+1 for each unspent green mana you have.
Nice.
So you keep mana around in your mana pool forever, which is cool. And he just gets big, and then you just go.
Dude, you should just put him at the head of the Marwyn deck. So that way when you get Marwyn, you just make infinitely big Omnath, and then you one-shot someone, and next turn you're like, you have to kill Marwyn or you die to the Jelly Bean.
Yeah. I have this specific Omnath art from the Commander Collection Green, and it's so cool, and it's just in a binder. So I need to use it. So I'm gonna build it. And it's just going to be mono green, good stuff. I'm just going to, play a bunch of, I'm just going to play, as many Titan of Industries as I can fit into that deck. That's the plan.
Hell yeah.
Just ramp into big things that are big. Or die trying. It's going to be awesome.
Or die trying.
So
I like it. And I love the Jelly Bean. I'm always here for the Jelly Bean.
Yeah, because I had 4 mana on that for a while, and every time I pulled it out, people would just complain for good reasons. Not that they're not allowed to complain, but that's all that would happen, is that they would complain, and then it'd be like, well, I don't want people to complain about my deck. I want people to think my deck is cool. You know?
Yeah. I think sometimes we complain because your decks are too cool.
Well, because Form Color Omnath is not cool. It's not that's not a cool deck. This card is fucking overpowered. Why did they make that card?
That card does go bonkersly stupid, but it's fine. I think we've all grown too. So if you wanted to bring them back,
no, it's fine.
You should play Marwyn. I want to try playing Marwyn again.
Okay. Well, the last time I played Marwyn was at SCG Con last year, and I won on turn 2. And I've been scared to play it ever since, because that's a lot. I literally just
no, embrace the dark side.
Well, I came into a high power pod, so I did it appropriately. Everyone was gunning for combos. Some guy was doing Mimeoplasm, he buried alive for the same combo pieces every single game. So it was that kind of commander. It was like high power but not CEDH.
Yeah.
And I just show up and I'm like, okay, I win on accident, because I had infinite mana, but I didn't have a way to get it. So it's I'm just gonna draw a couple cards, and then I drew into Azuri, and I was like, oh, here you go.
Nice, yeah. No, fuck that. That's like how that was like that game when I was like, I finally get to cast Hermit Druid, and then 2 turns later, my whole deck was in the yard, and you guys were like, we have to do something, and I was like, uh oh. Like, I think that's just part of playing a deck like that, you know?
Yep.
Like sometimes you're gonna do that, and then sometimes you're not gonna do anything.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm kind of falling out of wanting to do high power stuff. I just kind of want to do cool things.
That's fair. I like drawing a bunch of cards.
Drawing cards is cool. I do
Yeah.
like drawing cards.
I like picking them up and flicking them.
Dude, I hate when people flick cards in like a 60 card format. That shit drives me up a wall.
Dude, I can't tell if that's why I started doing
I
it.
hate it.
Because I was like, I heard enough people be like, I hate when people do that, and I was like, doesn't really bother me at all. But if I just flick my cards, which is annoying, that's super annoying, and I can admit that.
I mean, it's not.
But
it's
also-
only annoying. I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be annoying. It's just annoying because I play too much Magic, and I'm like, I've just been in that situation a lot.
It is a little bit. Every once in a while, still. I mean, I'll do it, but every once in a while, too, someone does it, and I'm like, you know what? There's a little more of an attitude in that flick.
Yeah,
You
some
leaned
people-
over the table while you flicked those cards. What are you looking at? It's the same vibe as like in Arena. They start flicking their cards and they look over the table and your card highlights white and you're like, stop looking
Stop
at
looking
it.
at my card, bro. I just played it.
Stop looking at
Stop
it.
looking at
Put
it.
it down.
It's like, I just played this Reckless Stormseeker. Why are you looking at it? Just let it be.
I would rather them flick their cards than just snag my shit off the table, though.
Oh, okay. We're not getting into the touching the cards discourse. Were you on Twitter for
No,
the touching
it's
the
too
card
late for that.
discords?
Where were you when touching card discourse dropped?
That shit was awesome. That was a good day on Magic Twitter. People like showed
Yeah.
all of their asses in like all kinds of ways on that day. That was very good.
I love Magic Twitter.
Magic Twitter is like so insane. It's people that take themselves way too seriously, that take this game way too seriously, and also take their format way too seriously. It's just like levels of like pompousness that I didn't know was possible. And I like used to be like keeping up with the Smash Bros scene, and that shit's like a whole other level of wild and crazy. But Magic Twitter's above that. And if you know anything about the Smash Bros scene, you know how fucking crazy that statement is.
Yeah.
Magic Twitter is levels of copium and toxicity and shit that is bananas. It's like my daily soap opera. I'm on there like just like, what are we talking about in here? Like, this is a card
It
game.
does. Yeah,
We're spending
it
too
does
much
read
money on
soap
pieces
opera.
of cardboard. Can we take a chill pill, dude? None of it is that serious.
Yeah, why do we have to fight about this? Why does it matter?
None of it matters. They get so mad about
Yeah.
anything.
I'm just trying to have fun. I love having 2 beers with the homies, flicking my cards a little bit to be annoying, and then playing my combo.
Like, if anything in this game gets you more mad than like the 20 minutes of like the rest of the game, then you need to like just leave. Like, you need to just do something else for your life. Like, I get getting salty in the moment, but okay, the game's over. We can move on. But if you're in your day-to-day
Yeah.
life and you're getting mad about like Hasbro's like business ventures, like, why do you care? Like, they're like a $1 billion company. They're gonna do whatever shit they need to do to make money. Like, yeah, it
Yeah.
sucks. They're a corporation. They all suck. Why are you surprised? Why are you complaining about it on Twitter so much? Like, just like they're a soulless corporation that's gonna do soulless corporation shit. Why do you care so much? Like, just, it's gonna happen. That's like,
Why are you waking up and you're surprised?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You keep looking out the same window every day and you're still shocked by what you're seeing. Like, someday you gotta wake up and you gotta smell either the poopery or the roses. You know, it's one of the two. It's just whatever's outside the
and
window.
if magic isn't your roses, why are you here? Because so many people act
Yeah.
like magic is like this thing that like is like lowering them down. It's like making their day worse, which is so crazy. Because that's like, why are you doing this?
Now, if we're going to be real honest, and I'm not calling anybody out or anything, but that behavior sounds like addiction.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So take a step outside and touch some grass.
Like,
Go get a hot dog. Go to a baseball game.
I just, like, I get, like, having an opinion about something. I get getting salty about something. But, like, I just see the rate at which people do it is crazy. It's just like every once in a while, like, if you have a complaint, complain. But if all you do is complain, why are you still in this hobby? Like, just go do something else, because you would be happier for your sake. Like, I don't care. I like looking at it. I like I like watching the shit show. But
I'm gonna scroll past you and just keep on giggling. It doesn't really bother me too much, but like, you're not happy. Go be happy somewhere. Go do something.
yeah,
I don't know if you guys have all seen Monsters Inc. This is for you at home, but the part where Mike Wazowski in the outtakes pushes Boo forward, he goes, "Go ahead, go throw up." Elena and I say that around the house all the time now. It's so funny. She's like, "I'm gonna go do something," and I'll go ahead, go throw up.
that's so. Dude,
And that's how it feels.
Pixar needs to bring back the outtakes. That shit is so funny.
Yeah.
Because they feel like real outtakes. Like, that's just how good their writing is that they they wrote outtakes and they're believable and they're funny and they animated them. Like,
Yeah. I totally imagine too they just fucked up in the booth every once in a while, because the go ahead, go throw up thing totally sounds like something Billy Crystal would just fuck up once for shits and gigs. But the funnier aspect of the whole thing is that they took the time to animate and storyboard and set up the outtakes to put at the end of the movies, which is just like a whole level of like dedication that I do miss. Like you took the time to make the fuck ups fully animated. They don't make them like they used to.
Don't. Pixar's gone downhill. The last like amazing Pixar movie was Coco. Everything else has been like kind of mid.
That's fair. I still haven't seen Coco. It's definitely on the list, but
I thought
that's what I've heard.
Thought
yeah.
Coco was like gonna be mid, and I like went in it just to like see it. So I'd like, because I've seen all the other Pixars, I was like, I gotta watch this one. And so good, dude. So good. Amazing movie.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, does that about wrap us up for Green? I think
that's Green in Magic the Gathering.
That's a couple nice little tangents there at the end, but yeah, I think that wraps us up.
Any closing thoughts?
Well, thanks for
anything else you need to say?
I don't think so. I pretty much laid it all out on the court. You know what I mean? My shoes are tight. I was able to get some points on the board. I'm feeling pretty good. Any closing thoughts from you? Anything that you want to get in there?
I think you should like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And you should follow us on Twitter at Command Paradise. And you should give us a review on whatever podcast hosting service you're watching this on. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're watching this, you should, or listening to this, you should give us a review. Even if it's not good, just give us some feedback. Let us know how we're doing. Please.
Yeah, or just tell us that we're cute. You know, we'll take that too. But thanks for listening to us go ham. Thanks for bearing with us while we had that little technical hiccup as well. We were changing some things up, so we learned a little something new. And who knows, maybe someday we'll drop the Wood Elves Cultivate Screaming Fight for shits and gigs. It does sound really bad, so don't expect it to sound good, but it's pretty funny. But yeah, thanks for listening, and I think we'll see you all next time in Paradise. Bye-bye.